narcissistic abuse, and their hooks in the victims. The hooks are used to keep the target in bondage, to be used as an emotional, sexual, physical, or spiritual supply for satanic rituals. Most of survivors from the abuse have felt such hooks in them. The effects of these hooks are invisible in their victims. Because these hooks are invisible, victims struggle with validation issues because society does not see what victims are talking about. Society then confuses the silence of the victim as an indication that the abuse they went through was not valid, when in fact, the silence and rationalization of abuse were in fact symptoms of trauma to which they had been submitted. Narcissistic abuse is a chronic and repetitive form of psychological mind control inflicted on a target. A narcissist, this demonic creature, may subject the target to numerous hooks and forms of coercion, degradation, and control that diminish the victim's sense of self, erode her self-esteem, and distort the victim's sense of reality. Victims of this type of abuse are often left without the resources they can use to escape the situation. The demonic creature stole his finances, his identity, and transformed the victim's own family and friends against them, due to the malicious deployment of hooks, web of lies, and deceptions that were sunk in them. Although victims go through what can only be described as being dragged to hell, narcissistic abuse is difficult to grasp, because the hooks are invisible and are present in the soul of their victims. The hooks from the abuse, such as gaslighting campaigns, mental and spiritual rape, slander, defamation and distortion of a person's reputation, are done in a covert and skillful way. The aggressor, in performing these secret tasks, is faceless, conscious, and disguised. What I consider very disturbing is the fact these hooks remain interfering with a victim's life, even after the victim have gone into contact with a demonic perpetrator. It seems these hooks keep on releasing venom into the victims. The way I have learned to loose these hooks from my life happened when I understand the abuse is closely related with spiritual warfare. I could not loose these hooks without the power of God to help me with strength and discernment, while taking responsibility for my own recovery, establishing love for the truth, having faith in God, asking God forgiveness for my sins, and forgiving those who trespassed me. You may be watching this video while feeling such hooks in your life. I invite you to consider my testimony, and consider what I share here, as a way to neutralize and lose these hooks from you. God bless you. Please, remember, truth is freedom.